To the Politico joint. It's good to see you all here. Okay, today we'll be dealing on matters arising from the Nigerian elections. So we have a lot to discuss today. I will first of all start with the major headlines we have for today. Okay, we already are enlightened with the news that the PDP and the Labour Party are no longer interested with the coalition happening in Abuja. There's a whole lot of rancor happening. And before we start this conversation in proper, I would like to tell all Nigerians that they should hold their peace, because right now we are hearing a whole lot of bad news from different corners that the riot has started. But please, Nigerians, we need to take it easy. Remember, this is our country. And if we spoil anything in this country, my brother, we are the ones going to repair it back. So let's hit on the major headlines. Okay, I will start with Peter Obi wins Edo with 331,163. I know many persons might be surprised with the numbers, but we'll get into the conversation properly. Okay. Then we'll also have the news about, like I mentioned, protests in Abuja, which is really ongoing. And I hope by the time it gets so dark that things will calm down. And we hope that the president will come out and also speak to the people. Okay. Then we also have the situation whereby Atiku won Taraba State. I don't know whether we saw that coming, but yes, that's the result. And lastly, for this first session, we also have that Tinubu won Kogi State. I don't know what you guys can make out of this. So let's start with Peter Obi winning the election, the presidential election, when you are talking about Edo State. So what do you make out of this? Are you, Mr. George, are you surprised that he won Edo State?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Good evening. For me, it's not a news that Peter Obi won Edo State, because from onset we already know that Edo State, if there is no state that has backed Peter Obi so very well, it has been Edo State. Now, what are these people trying to do? Look at the game they are playing. We Nigerians, we are not fools. We are brilliant people. We know ourselves. Now, what are they trying to do? All the Peter Obi strongholds, they don't want to totally destroy the votes. What they did was they shaded Peter Obi's vote. For example, where Peter Obi might have gotten 900, they will make it 500. Now make APC come up with, maybe you see Peter Obi's votes being greater than APC vote with marginal numbers, in order to patronize the people. Look at Rivers State, the same thing. So the same thing is still applying in Edo State. Every Edo man will tell you that this is not their vote. Yes, he won. But what are we talking about? Is it just winning? No. What about numbers? If there is anything that doesn't lie, numbers doesn't lie. So they should go back and get the original number, the original score for P2B in Edo State. So that is my take on this.
Okay, let me now ask you, what do you now make out of the numbers that you're talking about? How will they be able to get these numbers you're talking about right now?
Good. I want to believe we are in jet age. We are in a age of technology. There is nothing impossible. Now, many polling agents, many party agents, have the pictures and evidences of this election. Now, another good thing was there was a lot of situation rules set up by these political parties, and informations we are gotten. There can be a forensic there can be a forensic verification of these numbers to know if actually oh, these numbers, are these numbers what it is? Are these the original? Even with our normal phones, you can know how, where, if a particular document is the original document, if it has been forwarded many times, you can know the original source, you can know a source document. I want to believe, I'm not really technological inclined, but I still have that primary knowledge to know that for every document you get, for every picture you get, that picture registers as the first source of that document. So no matter how you manipulate it or duplicate it, they still have the first source of that information. So I want to believe that there are many people that snapped or took a picture from that those polling units. There are some people that did videos. They should bring forth these videos, bring forth these evidences for people to see. From there, you can draw your conclusions. Now, who are those agitating? If the people are not robbed, who are then the people agitating? This agitation has never happened before. They took the youth for granted. They felt the youth for this. Okay, to buttress this, the Big Brother whatsoever reality show is on. The, at this time of the election period, the youths never cared about Big Brother. You go to social media, nobody was hearing anything about Big Brother. That is to show you that the youths are out to take over their mandate. Now, also to also buttress this, remember many parties that contested, many people that contested under Labour Party, you saw them winning. Why? Nigerians are tired of these old people. Nigerians, the youth, not only just the youth, you see the old people, they are tired. Parents are no longer happy that their children are. You train a child in university, and the child comes out from university, and the child will be unemployed. Back then, going to school is one of the biggest assets. You see families selling their farmlands, selling things just to take their child or children to school in order to, when they graduate, they become a leader of tomorrow or become something better. Now, you see people that have sold some of their big belongings. Now, what happens to their children? No job. So in Edo State, yes, P2B won, but with what margin? That is what we should be talking about here. We shouldn't just be talking about the victory. We should be talking about what margin. You see that P2B, if the original document is being placed on the table, you see that Obi won massively with higher margin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your contribution. But I will follow up with these questions. Okay, let me also now ask you. Now, you know that INEC on their own have their beavers. Okay,
Yeah.
just like you made mention, and you also made mention that in a device like beavers, once you take the first picture, that it should be recorded that the first picture has been taken, which should be the first result, right? But what about some instances like in River State, where we had that some polling units, that there was not just any election, and some talks came, carried these INEC materials, and then formulated results. In that case, will you now say that the first result should count? Are you getting me? In that case, what do you think that INEC should do?
Now, in that case, what I will just say here is INEC rigged this election. How why did I say so? Now, we have guidelines. We have guidelines in this election. And INEC was the one that brought forward the guidelines. Now, there should be no election without beavers, if I'm correct. Everybody needs to be accredited through the beavers. Now, for any polling unit that there was no accreditation, that means that polling unit automatically is cancelled. Is it not what the Electoral Act said? You know, we are not living in a jungle. Let's tell ourselves the truth. We have laws. These laws are, even for me, the election that, they are calling out results, collating results, and calling out the results. For me, it's totally wrong. There is a violation of the process. What are we to do? People should be held accountable. People should be going to jail by now. This is how you are to do your job, and you are not doing your job that way. And you are here reading out, collating and reading out, bringing out all these professors for them to come and be reading. You are using professors that take bribe from students for election to do a very delicate process. So for me, there is no election without beavers. For every polling unit that people were not accredited or that didn't use beavers, for me, that place is automatically cancelled. So that is it.
Okay. So now, what do you make out of the religious leaders that has been, will I say, inciting their followers? What can you make out of that?
Well, inciting is relative because for me, I've never seen any religious leader that's been inciting. Yes, most religious from social media I've been reading and I've been watching, most have been telling their followers to leave everything to God, that God has a way. But sometimes we don't wait for God to come to do things for us. In the time of Israelites, they went to war. They fought battles. And when we mean battles, physical battles, some things need to be taken by force. Some things need to be taken by force. So if you ask me, yes, I'm not saying we should go to the streets or we should start violence. No, because there is this adage in my place that they say you don't throw stones in the marketplace because you don't know where it will hit. Because when the violence starts, maybe one of our loved ones might be there and they will be affected. But what am I trying to say? People need to talk. We don't need to just go to bed and feel, election has ended now. Let's wait for the next 8 years. For the next 8 years or next 4 years, no, that means they will rob us again. It will be very nice this election is being cancelled. That is the only way Nigerian youths and Nigerian people will be satisfied.
If you say, let's cancel this election, what about the monies that has been spent? Over 300 billion naira has been spent on this election. Okay,
Okay.
that is one. Secondly, do you think that redoing this election might just remedy the action? What about these politicians getting another new tactics and they will rob Nigerians or many Nigerians of their right to vote?
For me, nobody is above the law. Now, nobody is above the law for any politician. Anybody can be brought to book. Now, for the youths, anybody that brings violence to the polling unit, if the youth can gather together and bring that person down, crowd.
That is taking laws into your hands,
No,
Mr.
no, no, no,
Judge.
no. That's not taking laws into your hand. That is protecting the law. As an individual, you can arrest somebody. Do you know that? I didn't say they should kill the person. I said they should bring the person down. As an individual, you have the right when you see something going wrong, you arrest that person and put the person, forward the person to the police or any enforcement agency. Now, anybody that comes around the polling unit, the youths should bring that person down. They should grab that person. Everybody should. See, they can't kill everybody at the same time. They should bring that person. Just like when those policemen came, had it been the youths gathered the policemen, everybody gathered the policemen. Just like one video I was watching in Enugu, somebody came to a club shooting shooting sporadically. It was a bouncer that held the guy from behind and disarmed that guy. So sometimes we face our fears. Now, once we person they die, that is one. Then two, about the money spent. If there is any reason why we should redo this election, it should be because of the money spent. You can't spend money to get nonsense. I don't care where the money will be coming back from or coming from this time around. You don't spend money to, okay, let me ask you a question. Maybe you sent me money to buy you a Mercedes Benz. You sent me, let's say, 100 million, and I will now send you one Jalopy Toyota car. Won't I replace it? Won't you fight for me to replace it? That's just the same thing. The money is even the reason why they should do that election. We have spent billions of naira only for us to get this kind of election. It's a very shameful thing, my brother. It's a very, very shameful thing, if you ask me.
So now, are you not telling us that when these talks come, and mind you, these talks come, they come with their weapons? Are you not telling Nigerians that when these talks come with their weapons, that we should stand and fight them? And mind you, in elections, you are not, even as a policeman, you're not supposed to come with a gun. So in a situation like this, would you tell the people to protect their vote, or is it that the government are supposed to make sure that these criminals are not even seen on the streets?
Now, looking at, if you look at it very well, you find out even the community policing we are talking about is policing amongst the youth, using the indigene of a particular locality to protect the people. Now, if the youth wants to, you guys are highest talks that will come there might be, let me say, 10, and a talk of 10 comes into a crowd of let's say 300. Man, if you want to fight it, if in fact it never, I think they even took the youths unawares, because in some locations you find out that is what happened. Some people that came to disenfranchise the youths, the youths apprehended them. They held them and handed them over to the law enforcement agency. So it is doable. It is doable. Yes. Also, I also want to say this: for the youths that are being used, I don't want to call those guys youths, because by the word youth should be usefulness. Anybody that is useful is a youth. So for anybody that allows himself to be used as a thug, when women give birth, there is this song they sing in my place. They rub powder celebrating the birth of a new baby. So now when the baby grows up, the baby becomes a thug. So was that baby the reason? Is that the reason why people were celebrating years back? So they should talk to themselves. Think about it. You've been doing thuggery for a very long time. What do you gain out of it? How far have you gone? These people are trying to impoverish you just for the whole masses to suffer while they eat the lion's share.
Okay, Mr. John, thank you. But I will also want to ask you, the president of this country has not made any comment about the election. What does that tell you?
Okay, for me, I think it is not yet time for the president to make a comment. Why did I say so? INEC is Independent National Electoral Commission. It's an independent body. Now, the issue at hand is a very critical thing for him to come in, It's good that observers have said things, different observers, both international observers, have said things about the election. Let's see how it goes. Then, when the polity is tense, I believe he will be advised accordingly. He has to come out and address the people. He has to come out and address the people. But let us still know that whatever the president is coming to say, if it is not to reconduct a fresh election, that will not fly. Nigerians. And another thing I want to say here is, you know, I want to believe these people, they fooled us. We were, the media made us to understand that this election is going to be free and fair, which was fine. Now, we the Nigerian people, we trust so easily. We made a mistake by trusting a failed government. A government that could not even provide basic amenity for his people, of her own people. How then do we go ahead to believe them? They lied to us again, and we bought that same lie. This was a government that told us they will make $1 to 1 naira, and the same government told us that they will give us credible election, and we all believed. My brother, this government has proven to us that they cannot give out what they don't have, and truly they don't have it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. But I still also have this question for you. Um, if you can notice, 3 months before this election, you will see a president that really wanted to leave a name for himself, because from his antecedents, even his party members, the APC, we are really against him because of his, especially for the monetary policies that he dropped on the Nigerian people. But can't you also see that from this election that vote buying was, are we going to, maybe we should call it a thing of the past, because it was not just there, okay, maybe in just some little spotted areas, but in a major scale, it was just invisible. Because if you remember, in Ekiti, it was just so elaborate that vote buying was the order of the day. In Osun State, vote buying, people were just talking about vote buying. The EFCC was launched, and then we saw some video evidences back then. But this time around, can't you see that he really put in so much energy to make sure that, with respect to this election, that he really came out to give Nigeria the best election?
My brother, politicians are very smart people, if you ask me. The only thing that changed nomenclature, vote buying stopped. But now, what happened? Vote purchasing, if you ask me. They changed the nomenclature. Now, it happens with high volume of money. Now, since they know they can't go to the streets to give everybody 5,000, 10,000, what did they do? They bought the electoral system. They say everybody have a price. I believe they bought the whole system. And believe me, in the policy, there was still a space for them to dribble us. And which space was that? We only tackled the area of naira cash, but they didn't tackle the area of dollar. In the news, you saw them moving dollars.
Okay.
You saw them moving dollars. So what happened? Because they know, okay, since we can't get these small people to vote us now, oh yeah, now let's go. Connie man die, Connie man bury him. Even in their meeting, they will be saying, relax. Let's make Nigerians believe us. We will go this way. We will go. You see, let's leave these people. You understand? These people they are smart, but only that they don't use their smartness for productivity.
And
Okay,
I
Mr.
think I
John, let
saw.
me ask you this
Sorry,
tricky one.
sorry for coming. I think I saw
Okay.
on the internet, whereby, because they couldn't give out money, I saw a place they had them like food stand. So when you vote, you go there and collect food. You know, which was telling. You know, but I like what you said. You know, because many of them did have access to naira. They now switch to dollars. You know,
And
that's
bought,
quite
they
interesting
now
event.
bought the vote massively. They bought the electoral body.
Instead of the
Part of
voters.
I think they knew they would have even left them to, if they give you naira now, at the end of the day you vote your conscience. But now, since they know they can't do anything, what they did was they bought the process, all the electoral, whatever. They bought all of them. You understand? So that is it.
Maybe we'll say maybe let's not because I don't think there's evidence. I mean, physical evidence that we've seen to suggest that they were bought. But it's clear that something went wrong with the whole process. Oh,
Yeah, yes, but why I want to believe something happened? At least we caught one in River State that was with names of, names of people they want to pay share $500,000 to. So whether we like it or not, it happened. Had it been that guy was not caught, it would have gone well. And whether we like it or not, we still have other ones that went through. So these factors cannot be ruled out. Cannot
Okay,
be ruled.
let me also ask you now. What about in the situation whereby we got some news that well, I think they are authentic because we got some news that some core members, the NYSC members, that some received dollars. Okay.
Dollars.
Oh yes. Is hovering the space, but something also happened with the news I heard. Okay, there are traces to this, there are links to this. Okay, so with the news I got, there are some cases whereby the talks will come to your polling unit and tell you to choose one. Either they kill you or you take this money. Yes. So there were
Just
news
look.
like that. So in such case, what will you do?
If that they you take money or they will kill you,
When they give you
right?
such threats, what will you do?
You know nobody is seeing your vote. Nobody is seeing your vote. I've been in a polling officer where they pointed a gun on my head. They pointed a gun on my head. So what are we trying to say? Nigeria is not ready for election. The 300 billion is, am I right? They budgeted
Yes, 300 billion. Yeah.
for election. Please, I want to ask, as onye ajụjụ anaghị efu ụzọ in my language, which means someone that asks question doesn't misread. Now, can't 300 billion naira, even if it's China technology or the cheapest technology, make that same beavers immediately you come, they accreditate you. That same place you are being accredited, we don't need the paper, whatever. That same place they accreditate you, we scroll up, look for your choice of party, and thumbprint at your choice of party. Only your thumbprint can access your choice as spam if you go through. Technology is think it will make it for you. 300 billion will make it happen. Now, why
Okay.
didn't they?
So let me come in there. Mind you, it's unfortunate that many of our Nigerians are not that enlightened, okay, to use these devices. Okay, will you now, in respect to our old, let me even use, for instance, our old parents, will you now push them to a corner and tell them, okay, do it like this, do it like this? Before you know it, mind you, it's a secret
I,
ballot,
I have
okay,
to call
secret
short.
ballot system, and the constitution states that it should be secret ballot system. In that case, what will be done?
Now let me tell you something. If there is no nation that is brilliant, if there is no nation that is brilliant, take it from me. Set it away. You want to know that Nigerians if you bring any form of system, whether technology, even that our mama them, they will do it better than us. Why? Let me give you an instance. At what point did Labour Party, at what point did you started hearing Labour Party? You know, you remember, people are saying, hey, this thing will confuse old people. It will confuse old people. Old people are not enlightened. Old people are not enlightened. At the end of the day, it was even the old people that will tell you, the young one, where the logo is. What am I trying to say? If with that same level of sensitization done while we were campaign, all during the electionary process, had it been they did that same sensitization, they will learn it. That is one. Majority of these so-called old women use phone now. Majority of them use phone now. Also, we can still do it this way. Okay, we want to do it this way. You can vote. What's it called on your, the young people can do online through Beavers. Then the old people can do normal paper thumb print. So the truth is, these people, they know what they are doing. They just want to steal the votes. They all, okay, look at it. We, the common men, we didn't think about this. We are all seeing the positive sides. We are all seeing the positive side. Nobody was seeing the loopholes that, oh, this thing, they do them like this, it will happen like that. You understand? Why is INEC taking, counting votes of or collating votes of places that were not transmitted from the polling unit when the electoral act is against it? Can anybody answer that question? Nobody is giving us answers to that question. Now, one lady asked question when they were talking about Kaduna. The woman asked, the mistake or the correction you guys were trying to make in Kaduna's during collation in Kaduna, how were you people able to correct the mistake? Who was there? What caused the mistake? So you see, this whole election thing, we know the truth. They know. Okay, in Lagos State, the PDP chieftain, I've forgotten his name, was still saying that in their situation room, that Labour Party got over 980 something thousand votes.
Is that Bode George?
Is that Bode George? Can I remember? That's not Bode George. No, he's a. Now you see, he is not a Labour Party person, but their information gave it correctly that we have 908 something votes. The same thing I was still saying. They don't want it to look like Tinubu, rigged it. They now reduced the vote and brought these guys on Tinubu and still make it okay. Let there be peace. Let Labour Party be greater than 10. I think 10,000. That's the gap between Tinubu and
not up to 10,000, 9,000 plus. Yeah.
Okay. So you see it. So it's a well constructed manipulation. So that is it.
Okay. Now, I can see you are really clinging towards full electronic voting, because this time around it wasn't just full electronic voting. But let me also tell you that the INEC also let it out of the bag that they had issues with their server. So in a case like this, that we are not even running on the full scale electronic voting, and we are having server challenges, infrastructure challenges, what then happens if we go all out electronic voting?
Okay. I want to respond to this. 300 billion naira is not 1,000 naira. For you to have a server challenge with 300 billion naira, hey, my brother, on election day, all this while, immediately you sensed that the what's it called, downtime, network downtime. Immediately you cancel the election or you put the election on hold. You put the election on hold. That is one. Or you have an alternative backup way of transmit. See, I'm not a scientist too. If common me that is not a scientist has this common sense, what about them? So you can't tell me servers for 300 billion, my brother, 300 billion only for election, not to pay salaries. So please let them blow whistle if they don't have what else to say. Let them just say something else.
Mr. Patrick, what can you make out of this?
Now so I just checked on the internet. $300 billion as of today's exchange rate is about
No, but the problem about Africa is that
about $657
are they saying
million. Yeah, I think I'm correct. Yeah.
it's even international?
So that's almost $500 million. More than $500 million. And what they got, I mean, the Nigerian citizens, what they got was a shambolic election.
My brother.
You know, it's a disgrace. But Nigeria is well known for fraudulent activities. You know, so it's a shame. It's a shame, and particularly, the world they see us as a laughing stock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is the impression we are trying to correct. Do you know the truth? The all these things, the outcome of the effect of their manipulation, wrongdoings affects the common man. Now, these people, if they want to travel abroad, they get visa and they go abroad without too many questions. Now, a common man that wants to just go for a visit, just a legitimate young man that has not stolen any public fund before, would want to travel, they will reject that person just because of the stigma all these old men have left. Because of the stigma these old men have left. So we need to tell ourselves the truth. Nigerians are good people. The younger ones, in fact, whether we like it or not, see, let me tell you the truth. Nigerians are ahead of the whole world. Take it from me. All we need is the right people in government. If you do a people swap, let's say, okay, migrate all Nigerians to the US or to the Canada or to the UK. Nigerians, they will function better in all ramification in that place. That is why when you look at it, you see our people out there, they are the best. Our music is the best. Our bloggers are the best. Just count them. But what are these people trying to do to us? They're trying to impoverish us. They're trying to make us, weaponize, use poverty to weaponize us so that we don't have a say. We can't contribute. Okay, yes, sir, yes, sir. They go. Thank God, thank God. You pray for everything in this country. You pray for everything. You will work hard. You will pray for your money, for your salary. You pray. One of my God is too busy. God has, do you know how much population in the world? God is too busy that he has given policies, he has given commandments. And just like respect your father and mother for your days to be long. Do this for this to be this. Now, he gave those instructions because he is busy. India, they call him.
Canada they call am, America they call am, Nigeria they call am. So he now say, okay, make this worry no too much. Oh yeah, let's do it this way. If you want to live long, go and respect your father and mother. If you want to eat, you must till the ground before. So go and be doing those. So the small, bigger problems when they now come, you now call him. Not we want to do election. Election is in our hand. Go and vote. The main person will come in. Now we will now go and pray. You now be praying. He will now leave someone that is praying for cancer. Someone that is
Well,
praying for cancer. He now turn to Nigeria. Hey, my brother, take up. If you not God, you go
I'll
die.
just
Okay,
say, well,
thank you, Mr. George. Thank you, Mr. George. Okay, make welcome, Mr. Dixon. Mr. Dixon, welcome. How you doing?
welcome, my people. I'm all right. And you?
Beautiful. I'm all right. Okay, what can you make out of the election so far, please, Mr. Dixon?
I think this election it defines so many errors, wrongdoing, evil, manipulation, slavery that's been going on for ages. And the reason why it looks as if people are stunned by what they are seeing today. It's been happening for ages, even before we were born. You understand? But it's just that there was no social media then. There was not like we didn't have smartphones and what have you. And we didn't have people with boldness like our young people today, and which I commend every young Nigerian that is in Nigeria currently that has really fought for freedom, because this election it's not just an election, it's a fight for freedom, which all of us witness how Nigerians came out in mass and had the first time in my life I've seen Nigerians with one mind. They know, everybody knows who we want to vote for. You understand? And everybody knows who we'll be campaigning for and be supporting for a very long time. We don't even need preachers to, start telling us, or politicians to start, deceiving us and telling us what, or who to vote for and who not to support at the end of the day. The situation just explained everything to us. You understand? And the election, it's appalling. It's disgraceful. It shouldn't even happen in the first place. But that is to tell us how deep we are in corruption and in wrongdoing. You understand? And I keep saying, I heard when my brother mentioned about prayer. We cannot talk about all these things without, looking at how religion is being played in Nigeria. You understand? There's something I have been, been against recently, which is, I'm not saying we should go about disrespecting our elders. No, that's not the thing. I don't know who said that it's not all about how old, but how well or how far. You understand? You get, you travel through the life journey that matters. You understand? It's how well you've been doing it. You understand? So not really our elders, because if you talk about, because some of us will say, oh, the old people have been running Nigeria and blah blah blah. I'm not convinced that it was the old people, because it wasn't the old people that went to the polling units and started snatching out ballot boxes. It was not old people that were beating people up, stabbing people at the polling units. It wasn't old people that was manipulating results. It wasn't old people that was mobilizing talks at the end of the day. You understand? It was young people like you and I. You understand? I was telling a friend, yes, a Nigerian this morning, that look, we cannot keep saying old people, old people. It is we are doing it. And I believe each and every one of us, we can attest to the fact that those that are supporting the older generation, you understand, they're just supporting them because of what they will get at the end of the day. And that's a huge problem, because I know few people that have, in fact, I know a guy, I will not mention his name. He was born in this country. He's a Nigerian, He was born in this country, raised in this country, went to school in this country. In fact, graduated as a lawyer in this country. But guess what? He's in Imo State, yeah, working with the corrupt governor, a governor that took a fourth position. Yeah, fourth position in the last election. I ended up being the winner of the state. How can you, how can you explain that? But this guy works for this guy. Yeah, he now flies on private jets. He now he changes clothes, like, I mean, designer clothes, like every single now and then. He is not saying nothing. He's not infecting change. You understand? So I believe we have to start, having this right mentality of, it's no longer my pocket, my pocket. It has to be for the community, for that poor man down the street, for that poor woman down the street begging for money, for that woman inside the on the roadside market selling pure water, selling all these petty traders. You understand? That's what it's supposed to be all about, and that's why I love this country. I live in the UK. That's why I love the United Kingdom. One reason why reasons I love United Kingdom for, they care for the needy. They care for the needy. They have compassion for the needy. That's why there's no place you will go today in the UK. There is no disabled parking lot. There's no disabled access to, to a building. There's no disabled access to a hospital or to A&E. They have all of this. You understand? Make provision for people that are vulnerable. But in Nigeria, almost 80% of Nigerians are vulnerable. As long as you're poor in Nigeria, you're vulnerable, you're disabled, because one, you don't have a voice. You understand? So there are so many things that we have to look at before we start talking about how to heal these wounds that has been there for ages to come. You understand? But before we even were born, at the end of the day. But I think the movement that we've started is equally something that we should look at and be proud of ourselves, because the generation before us, they didn't do a lot. And even they started, or they did what we're doing now, we would have gotten to maybe level 60. You understand? But because they were too scared, you understand? They were too scared to lose their lives. Because when you talk about freedom, my brother, life is involved as well. You understand? Our people say that Ana son debu a jog. That means you cannot be afraid of death. You understand? In a war zone. Because once you're afraid of death, you can't go to war. You understand? So this is war. And people that we are up against, they don't play fair. They don't play fair. We cannot, convince ourselves that, overnight, Nigerian Electoral Committee is going to be fair. I expected this thing that we're seeing today. I've been expecting it for a long time. But what amazes me was nobody was asking questions on how transparent the INEC chairman is. This is not the first time he's handling elections. We saw what happened 8 years ago, 4 years ago, and we expect that suddenly he has changed. You understand? Somebody that has been seen with all these I'll call them cannibals. You know, that's who they are. I call them cannibals. When you hoard money, my brother, money. Let's even forget about incentives during coronavirus. Let's forget about that one. Money, Nigerian currency. And we were told that the reason why the federal government made it, scarce is because it would be hard for them to buy votes. These people, they transposed to dashing people cylinders. I mean, gas cylinders. You understand? Some of them were giving out designer clothes. Some of them, I heard, some of them were even giving acres of land. That's how serious these old people are. So we cannot just think that overnight, because Buhari came and told us, oh, before I leave this Aso Rock, I'll make sure that I'll give you a credible election. Lies upon lies. I never believed that man, and I will not believe him. You understand? Because some of us we witnessed the some polling units where policemen were present and things were going wrong. People were threatening people not to vote their candidates. That if they don't vote their candidate, that they will harm them at the end of the day. Police was there. There's this one I saw in River State. The police actually snatched the ballot boxes. So it's what is happening in Nigeria. In fact, it's a rotten situation. It needs serious sanitization, and that's why all of us, let me not say most of us, because we know even those that are against Obi, they know within their hearts that it's only Obi that can put us on the right track. We are not saying that Obi will change Nigeria automatically overnight. We just want somebody that will lay that path so that other politicians that comes after him will follow suit. So that if you don't follow suit, we'll not tell you that, look, this thing that you're saying that is hard to do, Obi did it, your predecessor did it. So you have to. You understand? So that's just all I have to say about this whole, nonsense that's going on. But with God, all things are possible.
Mm-hmm. Now that's the issue now with Nigerians. We leave it for God, just like the former speaker.
Well, the reason why I say with God, all things, he's the one that gives strength. You understand? He's the one that gives ideas. You understand? So in as much as we are praying is not just going to God and telling God that I need this, I need that job, I need that car, I need to marry next year. Prayer is all about communication, like we are talking now. That's how prayer is supposed to be. I would say my mind, and you will say your mind. And the mind of God happen to be ideas. It can come through ideas. It can come through strength. It can come through advice. You understand? Praying is good. You understand? Like my brother said, praying is good though, but my brother, you cannot be praying all the time. That's why Bible says prayer without work is dead. If you pray, my brother, like they are not playing fair. Like they are mentioned that they are giving out stuff. If we pray finish, let us go out there and start giving out stuff too. You understand? If it means contributing money, let's contribute money and buy our own votes. Because you cannot just fold your hands and expect things to change. If it's all about buying, let's equally play the same game. You understand? Okay. So a prayer has its own place and works has its own place. You understand? Like a friend was saying the other day that sometimes Nigerians will say, I said at the end of the day that Nigerians will say, oh, God will help us, God will, it is well and all that. But we forget that even us that things believes that God will help us, God will not come down from heaven. No. You understand? Like what some of our youths did on Saturday that I applaud a lot is the fact that most of them refuse to go home. That is what we are talking about. But it's just that we are quite unfortunate that it didn't happen in most of the polling units. And even that everybody said today, if you want kill us, we must be here until you finish uploading these results. I don't think INEC would have rooms to rig all these results at the end of the day. So while we pray, let's do the work.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can see that you are an obedient fan. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, but let me also now ask you: does it just mean that Tinubu, the Jagaban of Lagos, cannot take Nigeria to the next level?
Let me answer that question with a question. Yeah, do you watch football?
Yes, I do.
So, who are your favorite footballers? Like 4 years ago.
Like 4 years ago, maybe Ronaldo.
Let me say,
in his peak.
Which club do you support?
Arsenal.
Arsenal. Can you bring back Thierry Henry to be your striker?
No.
And why?
Okay, because football and politics are not the same.
It's
Mind
almost
you,
the same thing because
why
what
would you
we are
say
looking
it's
for.
the same?
Okay, well, it's the same because it's like, let's assume that Arsenal was looking for a striker. Yeah, now that will give them goals. Yeah, and we have Thierry Henry. Yeah, as a player that that has made name both in Arsenal and in Barcelona. Don't forget that. You understand? In fact, I think he still happens to be the highest goal scorer in your club. Okay, so let's assume Henry still plays football, and you have Jesus, this guy you bought from Man City. Would you leave Jesus because he's just a new player, or would you go for somebody that has made name for himself in football history?
Okay, I will go for the younger one. Mind you, football and politics are not the same. Why am I saying this? Because we have
Okay.
somebody like the president of the United States.
No, don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Okay.
Because
Okay, why would
the
I not
president
go
of
there?
okay, the reason why I said don't even go there, look at the mess Joe Biden has caused. You understand? You cannot compare Joe Biden with the last administration.
What
Joe
about
Biden,
Donald Trump? What about Donald Trump? Donald Trump
that's
is
what
not
I'm
a
saying.
young man.
He's not a young man, but he was not working against a young person at that time. He was a better older man.
Okay,
You understand?
maybe
Nigeria, majority of
older man.
Nigerians will tell you Tinubu won. Let's be honest. Tinubu won. Yeah, he's old. 2, he always needs an assistant to either climb up the stairs or come down the stairs. Sometimes he needs an assistant or to hold a flag. So we cannot go for Tinubu when we have younger people. And Obi happened to be the younger person. Yeah, I'm coming, honey. The Obi happened to be the younger person that has won the mind of the masses. Had it was Obi, we have somebody else like maybe, let me use Sowore. You understand? Then, believe me, majority of Nigerians will prefer Sowore to Obi. But it's just because that we have Obi, who is younger, capable, very energy. I've forgotten the word I want to use. He's very agile. Yeah, energetic. You understand? And you want to go for an old man that's supposed to be relaxing in a care home. Somebody that you and I know that he will be in Nigeria for 2 weeks. The 3rd week he's coming to UK for medical, checkup or medical assistance. We don't need that. We've seen it in Buhari already, and Buhari is even stronger than Jagaban. Jagaban did well. I'm not saying he did not do well. I'm just talking about his ability. Yeah, his ability at his age now. You understand? If we have only Jagaban and somebody that, if we have only Jagaban and Buhari, then we don't have a choice. You understand my point? We'll go for the one that is a bit stronger than the other one. But we cannot leave a young-minded person that has proven that, in fact, Obi happened to be at all the TV channels answering questions, but Jagaban did not do it because he can't. It's not that he doesn't know what to say, but it's just because that he is not at his peak anymore. I don't have no. And one other thing that Nigerians have not forgotten is the NSAS protest. Jagaban claimed that he is the Jagaban of Lagos, but he lied to us that he did not know what transpired between the army and the state and the protesters. So he has not been forgiven by lots of Nigerians. You understand? So I don't have any personal hatred for the guy. It's just that I'm going for somebody that I'm convinced that if we call him 12 midnight, and tell him, "Oh, guys, stand up," or something is going wrong, he will wake up. But Jagaban, you cannot call him. You can't. He's an old man. His wife will not allow you to get access to him. You understand? So Jagaban, let him go and rest. He has done well for the country. We applaud him, but it's high time that we move on. And the current situation of the country doesn't need somebody like him.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Mr. Patrick.
Do you think with the current the election at the moment between P2B, Atiku and Tinubu? Now we saw on the TV today that PDP and Labour came out for a press conference today.
Yeah.
And so far, Atiku, I'm sorry, Tinubu didn't show up. So I just want to ask you, do you think that this election, is it going to be cancelled? Or do you think they will carry on and anoint, just let me use the word, anoint
Jagaban? That's a tricky question, though. Like what I said before, you understand? I'm not convinced about, Tinubu still remaining, or Tinubu winning the election. But this is Nigeria we're talking about. Anything can happen, especially when it comes to vote buying, bullying, and intimidation. You understand? I will not be surprised if INEC announce him as the winner tomorrow. You understand? But I think in fact, we have lost hope both in the electoral committee and in the judiciary system of the country. We have lost hope. You understand? So all we are doing is to see if we can attract the international community to use their powers, and put ban on all these people so that they will be forced for us to have a re-election. That's just what we are looking for. Because I personally and most of obedience, we've lost hope. We've lost hope, but anything can still happen. It's Nigeria we're talking about, sir.
Okay, a moment, please. Mr. Jude, welcome to the conversation. Okay, Mr. Jude just left. I hope he will be back again. So let me ask you now. Politics is a game of number. Hope you know that.
Yes, sure.
As it stands, do you think P2B is that popular when you divide Nigeria into two? Mind you, Nigerian politics is tribalistic and it has some connotations of religion on it. Okay, so when you divide Nigeria by the north and the south, do you think that P2B has that popularity to become the president of Nigeria and be able to win two-thirds of the masses?
Absolutely, 100%. We've seen it. So? We've seen it play. We've seen it play out. Yeah. If what I'm saying is wrong, why are they changing figures? Why do we have more than enough evidence that these people rigged election? I saw, well, not just me. I believe all of us have seen photos, videos where numbers were changed to favor Tinubu. I told somebody that if had it been that the election in Lagos alone was free and fair, I'm not sure Tinubu will get up to 60,000 votes. You understand? Yes, I'm not sure Tinubu will get up. Look at, I hope you saw the clip where they clicked on one. Yeah, okay, that one was a Kitty State one. They clicked on the INEC BVS, right? And we saw a picture of a lady that was loaded as a result. Then in Lagos alone, they clicked on, I think it was Victoria Island. Yeah. Then the poll units came up, and where they wrote election results. Yeah, they clicked it. Do you know what they found? They found out that they used a Nasarawa result to fill in that gap. So upon that, on that day, on that Saturday, there were units where people were threatened. We saw videos. They told them that, look, if you're here and you're not voting for Tinubu, go home. We saw the lady that had bandages on her face because she refused to go home, and they beat her to pulp. There are so many. In fact, where Choma, you know Choma Chukwuka, the actress, where she was on that day, they came to steal the ballot boxes. The lady refused. I was even, scared for her life, because I'm like, hope these boys are not going to stab her or anything or beat her up. There were stories of people, being prevented from going to exercise their rights through voting. So I'm 100% sure that if we say let's have a free and fair election and invite maybe a foreign body, all right, to inspect these elections, P2B will win in line. It's not even a story again. You win on a landslide. But because they claim that we don't have structure, that LP, we are structureless, P2B will not even get up to 3% votes. But yet, they were intimidating people, they were buying votes, they were intimidating even INEC officials. You understand? So I'm 100% sure P2B will win in a landslide if we say, okay, let's have a re-election and let's make sure that this election is being guarded and protected by a foreign body. Because INEC cannot give us free and fair election now. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. There was this one, I will send you the pictures, my brother. There was this one, it was INEC that put it up on the news. We calculated the numbers that they gave us. We arrived at 174,000 votes for Tinubu. But they wrote on the total, do you know how many votes they vote for him? They vote for him 400,000 plus.
Oh.
So what are you telling me? That, in fact, Nigerians has realized that regardless of differences in ethnicity, you understand, and religion, when it comes to suffering, all of us are suffering, All of us are suffering. It's the same suffer. If you go to Lagos, people are suffering. If you go to Kaduna, people are suffering. In fact, those people in the north are even suffering more than us. They don't have access to education. They don't have access to clean water. They don't have access. Most of them don't even have access to electricity. It's only those that live in their cities that can say, oh, we have access to one or two. But those in the villages does not have no access to nothing because they've been brainwashed to believe that at the end of the day, you don't need a Western kind of lifestyle. So you can use a cow urine to wash your face.
But do you think, like, the host has gone now? Maybe he'll be back. So
Yeah,
do you
back.
think if the three front runners, if they take it to the Supreme Court, okay, say for example, if INEC decides to declare the winner,
yeah,
and we in Nigerian politics, we are very sure that they are all going to the Supreme Court to contest the election, will you be surprised if it to go that far? That's one. Number two, do you think when it gets there, they will give it a preferred candidate, which is P2B?
I think it might get there. All right, I think it might get there, but I'm convinced that if it gets there, we might not even have our mandate restored.
Okay.
Because Nigerian judiciary system is what is corrupt. Look at the history of the Nigerian judiciary system. Let me mention just a few. We all heard about what's his name? Okay, let me just pick Kanu's case. Yeah, as an example, Kanu has been discharged and acquitted by the courts. by the court, God. But where is Carlo? Carlo is still in the prison because your guy at the top said no, he's not going anywhere. You understand? Nigerian judicial system is being controlled. It's not a sovereign. We don't have a sovereign judiciary system. You understand? In
Yes.
all the in all arms of government we have in Nigeria, we have one or two people that controls it. Even EFCC, even DSS. You understand? So if it gets there, my brother, we've, like I said before, I've lost hope, and I believe so many people have equally lost hope. You know, in Nigerian judiciary system, it doesn't work. So going there is a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
So you think so? In other words, the judiciary system, you don't trust them, or you have no
Nah.
confidence in the judiciary. Okay.
I don't even trust them. Not to talk of having confidence. I don't even trust them. One atom of trust is not there because they have not delivered since I was born. They have not delivered. They have not delivered. Okay. Look at, I mentioned about Hope Uzodinma's case.
Yes.
It went to the same court. All right.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They awarded Hope Uzodinma that came fourth position 4 years ago. Fourth. They made him the winner. They did not even consider the second, the guy that took second position. Not even the third, fourth, because Hope Uzodinma ran under APC, and APC happened to be the present government. So if it gets there, my brother, nothing is coming out.
So what you're saying that Nigeria is put it this way, all the executive branch, the three branches of the government is screwed.
It's screwed, my brother. It's screwed. It's screwed. It's screwed.
So,
and majority of all these evil men, they benefit from it. So that's why it will not be fixed. It will not be fixed.
Now,
unless if someone.
Can I come in?
Yeah, come in, sir.
Okay. Can I come in now? Let me ask you, the INEC chairman, is there something that he could have done better for a better election?
Yes. Just be
like
transparent. What? Just be transparent. You understand? INEC. I was watching yesterday's results. I heard when Dino Melaye told him to his face on the national TV that, sir, why are you not looking at the figures given to you? You are just calling out figures without confirming those figures given to you. Did you know what he said? He said, we don't have time. Then why are we paying you money? Is that not your job? Okay, cool. Since we don't have time, can you make sure that all these figures you are calling are being projected on the screen? He refused. He refused. You cannot be an INEC chairman and you don't confirm figures. When you went off, I told my brother Patrick that that I even saw. If you like, I'll send it to you as well. There's a picture, yeah, of a result that was taken, that was shown on, I think, Channels TV. All right. Then, they will now mention all the polling units. Tinubu got so and so vote on a certain polling unit. They'll mention about 8 polling units or 10 polling units. They will now calculate it and tell us the total. All right. What INEC did, they calculated it, yeah, and instead of giving us 174,000 plus, they gave Tinubu 400,000 votes. You understand? So how are we going to have confidence on INEC? We can't. They've lost it, and for them to regain their respect, all we are asking for, call for re-election. Okay, if Tinubu win and Tinubu or APC feels that they won squarely without no mago, why can't we have a rerun then? It's like if you go for an exam and write an exam and pass that exam, and they now tell you, oh, one thing happened. Can we, rewrite the exam? You'll be like, bring it on, because you have the confidence that, look, I wrote this before and I passed it. So if you bring it again, I'm going to pass it. You understand? So why are they scared for calling for a rerun of this election if they won it squarely?
Okay.
So, my brother, Nigerians, we have lost hope. We have.
Okay,
We have lost.
I have this information for us
Yeah.
here that Tinubu has just won Rivers State. What can you make out of that?
Same River State that we have evidence where Mike were threatening INEC officials if they don't deliver for him, that they will not make it alive. It's on record. I'm not making all this up. All of us, we've seen it now. Is it the same River State that in some areas people were barred from coming to a polling station to vote? You understand? There was this one I even saw before I walked into my house. There's these guys. I don't know where they picked all these voters. What do you call it? Where they print? Yeah. I don't know where they picked it from. Loads of it, and it only has OB on it. You understand? So River State, they can claim River State has won. Tinubu won River State. We already seen the evidence before even they call Tinubu as the winner of the state. Come on now, what has Tinubu done for River State for him to win River State to start with?
Yeah, but he has the governor behind him. Couldn't it have been that the governor has called his people together and said, please go and vote Tinubu so that we can protect ourselves?
I bet you can choose. I bet you, I schooled in Port Harcourt. I bet you, you can go to Port Harcourt and pick random people on a different location. Ask them what Tinubu did for them to vote for Tinubu. You hear what they will say. You understand? Today, I spoke with 3 people from River State. I went to school in Port Harcourt. And they told me, say, guy, anything you're seeing INEC is going to call out as a result, disregard it. We did not vote for Tinubu. It's the work of our governor. And that's why they kept telling us that we did not have a structure, because we did not have people that will help us steal votes. That's what their structure means to them. You understand? So if they like, let them say Tinubu won in my house in Nigeria. Let them say Tinubu won in my house in Nigeria. I will not be shocked, because I know what the guy did. You understand? Tinubu is a unifier. He's a unifier. Why is he scolding his party members in Lagos that they allowed Igbos to win him in Lagos? Is that the kind of comment somebody that you called a unifier should be saying? I mean, this morning, I'm not making it up. He said it. So, my brother, Nigeria, we have lost hope. We have lost hope.
Mr. Patrick, please, what do you make out of this news about River State being in the hands of Tinubu right now?
Well, I declaring Tinubu as the winner. Sorry, Atiku, is it? Or Tinubu?
No, Tinubu, yeah.
Declaring him as a winner, I don't think it's right, because it's glaring that the election was violent. So that's an automatic cancellation. They should have cancelled the election, put it that way. You know, but declaring him a winner is unfortunate. Is unfortunate.
Okay. So right now the news is that the former president of Nigeria, that's Goodluck Jonathan,
Okay.
and Kenyatta, the former president of Kenya, they are
Kenya,
currently with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What can you make out of this kind of meeting? What do you think they might just be telling Tinubu right now?
Well, if you ask me, you see, the meeting should not be made public. Yeah, because for the two former presidents to meet, yes, it tends to sort of to the picture he paints or put the optics. Yeah, it's like they see him as the president of
the new president, the incoming.
It's embarrassing for politicians, you know, but it's our black people. That's the way they think. You know, in the Western world, they will isolate themselves
until this whole thing is over.
Yes. Like, for example, when what's the name again? Trump and Biden. After the election, people were holding back their messages of goodwill until they were sure.
Yeah.
You know, before they called Biden. Because when they were, you know, Trump and Biden were still knocking each other out.
Yeah.
People held their goodwill messages
until they confirmed
until it was then declared, oh, Biden is now the president. But in Africa, no, anything goes.
Everything goes, my brother.
Because for them to meet
Bola Ahmed Tinubu,
yes, it's totally wrong.
It is.
If they wanted to speak with him, they could have called him on the phone or do a Zoom call. Why go there in person for all? You know, it's embarrassing.
Okay, why don't you think that this meeting could just be because of maybe they want to mediate? Maybe they just want to also meet Bola Ahmed Tinubu, tell him, okay, since the LP, that's the Labour Party, the PDP, and just recently the NNPP have all withdrawn their hands from this election. Don't you think it might just be that these men have gone to meet Tinubu to tell him, please, let us cancel this election? What about that?
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. We are just guessing. You understand? We are not saying it is A or B. We are just getting, like what you rightly said. It might be, they went there to tell him, Oga, slow down. No, these young people are there exposing you. So it could mean anything. But I understand what my brother Patrick said. For them to only meet with Tinubu, it sends a wrong signal. You understand? Because now everything is sensitive. Like this afternoon, I was jokingly, I think, but Patrick saw it jokingly on my Facebook. I now wrote that Peter Obi has stepped down. My brother, if you see the amount of abuse. One of my friends said that he is 100% sure that my account has been hacked. You understand? So what I'm saying is now tensions are high. You understand? So there might be something that you want to do, and when you do it, people, because tensions are already high, people will now see it as you're trying to tramp on what they've worked so hard for. You understand? I don't see it as a good thing, but it might, yield good results at the end of the day, like you said. So let's just wait and see.
No, you see, in the optics, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Jonathan and the Kenyan president could have made a Zoom call.
Or meet secretly,
Yes,
and you know one other thing, they might have met secretly, but APC and their loud mouth. You understand? They might be
That's
saying it just because they want to poke us, or they want to say it so that they want to feed their ego.
what to legitimize.
Oh, that's what I'm saying now. To
Yeah.
feed their ego, that at the end of the day,
Again,
we've won the election. That's a sign.
that's a good, politics, but Jonathan and Kenyan president should know better.
Yeah, they should know better. And the reason why I said what I said was because I don't know whether you saw this tweet. There was a tweet tweeted by a Northerner that said, finally, Obi has been exposed. So one of the APC, what do you call them now? Rep now retweeted it, thinking that it was a bad thing. But when you click on the link, click on the link there, yeah, it showed an Hausa man that was telling a story when he was in Anambra State, when he was a businessman in Anambra, how Obi looked after them.
Mm-hmm.
So he retweeted it to shame Obi, but he did not know that he's spreading the good news. So that's what I'm saying. It might be APC trying to feed their ego that look, for the fact that GEJ, met with Tinubu, that means that maybe he called him or went to see him to congratulate him, but it might not be the reason why that meeting happened. But let's just wait and see.
Okay.
Let's just wait and see. All of us are calm. We are calm at the moment.
Okay, now there is another news. Is a reaction from now El-Rufai, the current governor of Kaduna State. Yeah, the news came out that his son Bello El-Rufai
won
winner of the Federal House of Representatives. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you make out of this? Because from Delta State, you notice that James Ibori also attempted that for his daughter to also become member of the National Assembly. Do you think it is morally right in a system like this? Nigeria is being pointed in the world as a corrupt nation. Let's face the facts. So what do you now, when you are outside in this country and you hear news like this, that these leaders are also grooming their
children in?
Yes, to be part of this, especially when you go down to details of how their children get to these offices, you might just get shocked. What can you make out of this, please?
It's not a good thing. Like it's not a good thing. It's really adding more injury or more salt to our injury. You understand? Because they're not telling the world that look, we don't really care. You understand? We don't care, and everybody's bringing their family. Any business or any businessman, a good businessman would not just bring their children in. You understand? What they will do, they will make sure that those children are properly trained, all right, to take over from him when he's no longer there. When he is no longer there. But these people, they are there already. They are eating, from us, and they are bringing their children. I heard that Aisha's brother controls the minting and printing section in CBN. It shouldn't be that way. And if you check it, that person does not have experience. You understand? And that has been one of the major problems we have in Nigerian government system, or the way we govern ourselves. Because everybody, even if in my state, somebody will be a governor. Before you know it, his son is already a councillor. You understand? In fact, some of them, the son doesn't even become a councillor. Some of them, they will make their son either a commissioner. He's somebody that just left university, graduated from university, is already a commissioner. So how is he going to deliver? You understand? And in this context now, Nigeria is at the point of, in fact, we have rotted, not even decay. We are rotting with the rotten, and you're bringing an inexperienced, officer to handle a section under your government. That shows how lousy, irresponsible, corrupt that governor is. El-Rufai, let's talk a little bit about El-Rufai. Especially that time, we were having cash issues. El-Rufai went to more than 4 different TV stations to attack the president. Buhari is not my candidate. You understand? So that you understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying it because Buhari is my candidate. I never liked the guy. You understand? Then the president came out and reassured Nigerians that, look, I understand your pain. You understand? But for the fact that I understand your pain, and I want you to know that I'm here to help. 200 naira notes should still remain in circulation. It was El-Rufai, a governor, that came and told us that we should not listen to a whole president. That the president is talking nonsense. A sitting governor. So that tells you everything you have to know about El-Rufai. El-Rufai is not a good news in Nigeria. What I understand some of them will do, they will become the voice for the people. They will claim that they are fighting for the people. And when they get there, all right, the same sea that swallowed all these politicians' conscience will swallow theirs as well. Look at El-Rufai. El-Rufai did not start like this. When El-Rufai was FCT minister, he did well. He did well. I was in Abuja at that time. He did well. I applauded him. Look at Adams Oshomole. The same thing. When he was a chairman for Labour, you understand? He did well. All of us, we applauded him. In fact, when he ran for the office of the governor, all of us, supported him. But look at Adams Oshomole today. You understand? So to me, it is not, I don't care who will tell me, oh, let's give the guy a chance. He does not have experience. Let him go through the system, you understand, and understand how it works. You understand? And understand how we can liberate Nigeria. It's no longer all about, oh, come and join me. Let's keep eating their money. It should be, bro, this country, this country has fallen. We need to bring this country where this country is supposed to be. But now it has become business as usual. Very soon you hear that one of Buhari's son or sons is contesting for something. It's serious, it will happen. Or they will compensate him with something. Because now the politics in Nigeria is all about compensation. You understand? Like Wike now, Wike might have, fallen in love with Tinubu overnight because they promised him something. There must be something there.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Okay, Pastor Ephraim, welcome to the political joint. Are you there, sir?
Thank you.
Are you there, Pastor Ephraim? Okay. So what can you make out of this election? Please, can we hear from you, sir?
So I don't know what we can do and believe that for the right person, that is our prayer.
Okay. From the result that has been trooping in, is there a particular result that you fancy to discuss about?
Result yet. Very soon. But we are praying. God, whatever election that is going on. Put his person there. The person after God's own want to change Nigeria.
Okay. So you are leveraging on God to come and help the people of Nigeria. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Patrick,
Yeah.
what can you make out of this?
Let me. I just saw something on the display there. I would like to talk about my constituents killed animals fasted for me to win re-election. It is somebody I heard somebody said something, said that Nigeria, that in heaven, that Nigeria, Nigeria is a comedy country where the angels are laughing. When they want to laugh, they will look at Nigeria. They will say, oh, let's look at Nigeria. They will be rolling on the floor laughing. That Nigeria is a comedy country. It is. Do you know? Okay, we Mr. Dixon Kabios Witten, he lives in the Western world. Do you know if you meet let's say a white man or a white woman, or once you mention Nigeria, you're from Nigeria, they put a hedge around themselves.
Yeah, they will not take it seriously.
That's how damaged that country is. But what can you do? So now and the comedy still, the comedy is still increasing in strength.
Mm-hmm.
That even the international community, the international observers, they've seen, they say, oh, this election is not credible. But I won't be surprised by Saturday they will declare whoever they want to declare as president.
Mm-hmm.
So with this approach, where are we going? Where are we going as a country? The current president, I was so when the president, when the Buhari in 2019, was it 2019 or 2015?
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
I supported him. I was defending him.
Okay.
But I won't mind to say the man is an embarrassment. Now look at us today. That common election. We can't even run an election. It's so sad. It's so sad. And as you said, with the judiciary, they're also corrupt. There's no need to hide all these things.
Very corrupt set of people. Look at Nnamdi Kalu's case. I mean, they discharged the guy. I'm not an IPOP. They discharged the guy, but the guy is still in the prison.
The thing is, look at Buhari after the election. When he went to the poll, he broke the law by showing people who he voted for. But I can guarantee you that nothing will happen to him. Who will go and touch him?
No. We are too used to corruption now, my brother. We are too used to corruption.
Okay. I think at this point, I would like to mention some positives about this election. I know we've mentioned a whole lot of negatives about this election, but I want us to know that in this election, vote buying was reduced to its minimum. Nigeria, for the past 3 smaller elections that happened, vote buying was the order of the day. In my own opinion, okay, I'll come to you. I know you want to say something.
No, I just want to chip in something before I forget. Yeah, vote by they still bought vote with old Nigerian notes.
Yeah,
I mentioned that they gave people cylinders. I mean, gas cylinders.
I saw it, Anambra. Yes,
exactly.
Anambra. Yes.
You know that, and there was this guy in Imo State that nearly gotten the beating of his life because they gave him money to share. He refused to share the money.
Yes, I saw that. That was from the campaigns. Well, if we start talking about campaigns, Nigerian campaigns can, in fact, there are a whole lot to talk about that. Both in the Labour Party, mind you, a whole lot to talk about the campaign happening in Nigeria. But aside that, we should also note one thing, and I think it's a good news from my own side, that the number of voters this time around, in terms of results, has drastically reduced. Back in the days, like Rivers State, for instance, mind you, in 2015, Rivers had over 1 million votes for people. But right now, what happened? And we can say categorically that this election, the 2023 election, that Nigerians trooped out in their masses. And mind you, the population of Nigeria in 2023 is way higher in 2015. But what is happening with the results right now is that the numbers has gone down. In fact, in some places, 30% of those values in 2015. What can you make out of this, Mr. Dixon?
That shows that Nigeria can be better. It's possible. It's 100% possible. But my problem with it is that we don't want to. We know the right thing to do. We don't want to do it. Instead, so many of us has decided that before we can make changes, or instead for us to make changes in this country, we rather die. You understand? So what you said is a good thing. I like it. You understand? Because it showed that we can actually, take care of something if we want to do it. Because remember, what I think, that brought these changes is the introduction of PVC. You understand? How we made PVC a mandatory before you can take part in that election exercise. You understand? So if we can do that and actualize these good results, that means anything is possible. But it's just that so many of us are still too corrupt. We don't want to do the right thing. You understand? Somebody was saying something. He said that that in Nigeria, it is hard for water. I mean, clean pipe-borne water to get to a village. You understand? Than pulling what do you call it? A ballot paper. Ballot paper can travel easily, get to wherever. In fact, get to the uttermost end part of Nigeria. But you see water, it will not get there. You see immunization, it will not get there. You see medical care, I mean basic medical care, giving people paracetamol, it will not get there. But once it's election, our politicians will now remember those forgotten villages. You understand? So it's a good thing, my brother. And like I said before, if we actually want Nigeria to work, it is possible, 100%, more than 100% possible. But we have decided not to move forward.
Mr. Patrick, what can you make out of these numbers?
Now, with the number you just stated, I think if the number is let me just get the question right. So the number, what you're suggesting is in 2023, the number of voters is lower.
Yes, the number of the results.
The result is lower.
Yes. Okay, and I can also, let me go further now. Mind you, the results nowadays has to be lower than the accredited voters. It must not be higher than that. If it goes higher, that means the election will, overvoting.
But my brother, there were areas the numbers were higher.
Sure. And I can also tell you from the ones I saw, they mentioned that overvoting occurred and those results were cancelled. Okay. But now, since we now have the beavers, which if you don't come to the election ground with your PVC, you will not vote. Mind you, back in those days, there were incidence forms. They had a whole lot of nomenclatures named back then. But right now, the law, they followed to the letters of the law that stated that if you come to the polling unit without a voter's card, you will not be allowed to vote. So that meant that you will first get accredited through the beavers before voting. And that
I
is
have a
why we
question.
now have these numbers. Okay, go ahead, sir.
I
Go
have a
ahead.
My question, based on what you just said, yeah, then how is it easy, or how comes that it became easier for kids, children, to vote in the northern part of Nigeria?
Well, we saw them on the queue. I will always like to follow the facts. Okay, we saw them on the queue, no two ways about that, through social media and all forms. But I also did not see any video whereby these kids were really putting their
I have
votes
a video.
on
I have a
beavers.
video where the INEC official was telling this boy, put, as in he was speaking Hausa, he said, put it there, put it, put it, touch the ink, put it there, touch the ink, like three of them. I'll send it to Brother Patrick at the end of it. I will have lots of videos because we have this group chat where everybody's just bringing in their own, evidence. I have lots on my phone now. My phone is blowing up. I have downloaded so many clips. I'm even deleting some because I noticed that I have it's one same clip for like 4 times. You understand? So I immediately delete some. Some are still coming in. So the thing is just that the Nigerian system, we are too used to corruption. Corruption has become normal. Okay, like now, if you travel to Nigeria now, land on the airport, yeah, immigration officers will be asking you to give them money. And the one that pisses me off is that they will be asking you to give them money in dollars.
Yeah, that's normal. Now
I'm just saying that it's just to tell us that we are rooted in corruption.
That's it. Yeah,
You understand? We are rooted in corruption.
That's it. So let me answer your question about the numbers. Now, I think there was voter suppression, if you ask me.
True.
Yes. Now, and probably again, the numbers were cooked. Now, when I mean cooked, they're cooked either in reduction or by increment. But that depends on which area, their statistics.
Affected.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And or their game plan. But what he just said, just a type to what he said, Nigeria is, is corruption
headquarters.
For lack of what, So in Nigeria, every all manner of crimes
goes.
Okay.
Let me even chip this before you go on. Few of the last year, I had issues with my Nigerian passport. All right. Then I've been going to Nigerian embassy. They will tell me, "Oh, come back tomorrow. Oh, leave your number. We'll call you." They never did. They never sent no emails. Then this day, I looked at it. I'm like, how can I be a Nigerian? You understand? And I don't have my passport. I decided to go there. When I got there around 1:15. So when I got at the entrance there, this guy refused me entry, that I came late. I'm like, I was begging him. He refused. And I said, "Excuse me, sir. I just want to ask you a few questions." You understand? I'm like, "What time do you open? Does this Nigerian house opens?" He said 9:00. "And what time do you close?" He said 5:00. "And what time is your time saying?" He said 1:15. "And you're saying that I'm late." Okay, what time did you started processing those that had issues with their passport? He said 1:00. And I'm here for 1:15. I told him, Oga, today, una go beat me tire because I'm not living here without my passport. You understand? So I make my way in. This guy now came in, called one of that guy that they are going to push me out of the Nigerian house. I laughed. I said, guys, do you guys actually understand your job in this place? Because what you're saying you're going to push me out of my own country. Buhari cannot even ask me to leave this compound now because this is Nigeria. Immediately I said it, all of them, they calmed down. You understand? They now went and brought one officer. The guy was not trying to calm me down because that time I was now angry. I thought you guys should try and educate these people to understand what Nigerian embassy means. In fact, what an embassy means. I said, look, if I commit the hideous crime in this country and the metropolitan police is chasing me and I run into this building, do you know that metropolitan police will not come inside there? They wait outside. You understand? So, and again, the reason why I say this is for me to elaborate that we have to start, educating our people on what their rights looks like. You understand? Because when people don't know their rights, that's when any politician can write on them. Ignorance is not an excuse,
But
but it can be cured with information.
But let me this. Do you know in this your situation, or what just your experience?
Mm.
Don't be surprised that if they give them bribe in that embassy, they will drag you out.
That's what I'm saying. But they don't have the right to drag me out because I can sue them.
Yeah, no,
I can sue them. You know that, right?
Them, but
yeah.
Nigeria is a lawless country.
That's what I'm saying. But I know Nigeria is a lawless country. It happened before. It happened to a guy. I've forgotten his name. A few years ago, this guy, he wanted to go and bury his dad. All right. So his passport had issues. They told him, come today, come back tomorrow, come today. So with that day, this guy decided that, look, you guys will kill me today. So he went there and they dragged this guy out. Guess how much they paid him in compensation? They paid him £120,000 in compensation because the guy understands his rights. And those idiots did not understand that, look, you don't do these things. As long as that person is a citizen of a certain country, you have no right to drag them out.
But remember,
and at the end of the day, my passport that they've been telling me stories for over a year, 6 months came out that day because I swore that I'm not leaving that place. In fact, some of them started saying, oh, the reason why he's doing this is because he knows somebody. I don't know anybody there. But it's because that I know my rights. You understand? They will first of all try to intimidate you, but once they see that they cannot silence you, that you actually knows what you're saying, they will give in.
But let me just tie up before he leaves. The Buhari, when he was president, he came here to break their laws. When he kidnapped his what's the guy's name? A guy, because of corruption.
I mean, when he was a military, he was a military president, right?
Yeah.
That time, that time, I think that time, technology was not this powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, and the guy, I think they put the guy in a bag,
in a box, in a cargo box.
Yes.
So
okay, what it shows, back to Nigeria.
Yeah, but what it shows is Nigeria. Nigeria is a lawless country. And it's a shame. And this was reflected in this election.
It's been long, man. It's been long.
Corruption, lawlessness, it goes hand in hand. And anyway.
Please, lastly, let me say this before we call it a day. Okay, let me mention this news. We have a report saying that government suspected to be political talks have killed a traditional ruler in Ezza North local government of Ebonyi State. Okay. The news here states that it could just be opposition parties that killed the traditional ruler. This is coming from the mouth of the governor. The governor has dropped his 2 cents about it and has said that the security apparatus of the state will kick in to make sure that they catch the culprits.
They won't catch them. There's no need.
For where now story now? They're telling us another story. Like even you know, the Labour Party guy that was standing in for, I think, senatorial seat.
Yeah, that was
in Anambra. It was murdered and burnt now.
Yes.
It was murdered and burnt till date. You know, we don't know who did it. So all those things now, stories they will tell us, oh, we will catch, you know, the culprit. They never did. They never did, my brother.
Okay. Okay, we'll call it a day today. We'll call it a day today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much and have a great night. Thank you.
And you too, my brothers. Yeah, good night. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome, man.